Housekeeping! Yes, I'm cross-dressing now. How tragic is that? Well, I actually do have a few more housekeeping issues. Everyone seemed to like it when I just did a talking to the camera video. And I do have a couple of things I felt like I needed to say. One is I have made a mistake a couple of times recently with deleting comments. Now this is due to YouTube's stupid goddamn commenting system! And the way when you break their comment limit setting, the reply to button disappears, but the friggin' delete button is still there, and it's right next to where the reply is, and I'm not very bright, and sometimes I just reflexively click when I mean to reply to someone, and it deletes the comment, and there's no recovery. So I reckon the techs at YouTube probably got an A+ when they were studying how to set up networks and server loads and that sort of thing, and I think they failed horribly their interface design class. Yeah, so next time you guys are putting different coloured rounded buttons, rearranging things, you might want to move the reply and the delete buttons further apart for the idiots like me. I did get asked during the week about the concept of YouTube cheaters as well. A few people have been posting videos getting all riled up about the people faking various things on YouTube. Pisses me off too. People tend to equate the artificially boosting the number of views, which is dead easy, artificially boosting the number of subscribers, which is pretty easy but more time consuming, and artificially controlling the ratings of your videos as well, which is pretty easy too. Yes, it pisses me off, but really I don't give a shit. Yes, it gives lots of people a really high profile who clearly don't deserve it, but I don't give a crap. But what really interested me is a lot of people equate the appearance of, you know, actual celebrities, your P. Diddy, Paris Hilton, that sort of crap. They regard that as some sort of cheating. Not only do I not give a crap that these celebrities and paid placements are happening, I think it's really good, because if nothing else, it more or less guarantees the longevity and viability of YouTube as a medium. I think everyone probably needs to calm down a little. I'm not telling anyone to change their mind. Different views make the world go round, that sort of thing. But me personally, really don't care. In fact, I would actively encourage famous people to have their own video logs on YouTube. I reckon it's an awesome idea. I don't reckon either Paris or Diddy are doing it particularly well, but I think someone could come along and do it very well. Another thing being taken up some news this week is the increasing number of official takedowns being issued on YouTube because of copyright infringing material. First, there was quite a large number of clips from Japanese shows, and more recently, apparently, I don't think it's absolutely confirmed yet, but apparently Comedy Central issued takedown notices on South Park, Colbert Report and Daily Show clips. Now, the South Park one doesn't surprise me or bother me because they have some fairly serious merchandising going on with selling their content. The Colbert Report and Daily Show one really surprises me, not least because Jon Stewart is specifically on record in a cover story in Wired magazine saying he thinks getting the show distributed through internet channels is great. I know Comedy Central claim that you can view a lot of the stuff on their website, but if this is true, I can't imagine Stewart and Colbert being particularly happy about it, because it makes them look like dorks, if nothing else. Obviously, Comedy Central are 100% within their legal rights to do it. I'm just not convinced it's a particularly smart thing for them to do. On another note, a purely selfish note, is anyone going to be surprised that as someone who puts a lot of effort into putting completely original material on YouTube, that personally I'd be glad if a lot of the stuff that's just clips from shows and movies is gone? it really doesn't mean anything to me. And this, I admit, is completely selfish, because I sure as hell don't have enough time to be looking up all these movie clips and TV show clips and whatnot. Stuff I do myself takes up a huge amount of time, and trying to come up with some of the original content created by YouTube users is really hard. And at this point, I will throw out one of my occasional apologies to people I'm in regular contact with, that I'm not always able to keep up with people's videos and give comments, feedbacks, that sort of thing. I simply don't have a lot of free time a lot of the time. Producing these videos takes quite a bit of time. I do my written blog as well. I've said this a few times, I'll just say it again. Sometimes I'm too busy to keep up with people. I do my very best to reply to comments and whatnot. Day will probably come where I'm too busy to do that as well. But my heart's still here, people. And I keep up as much as I can. I also have a bit of a question for the people who post clips of things on YouTube. And yes, they get lots and lots of views, they get lots of subscribers, and I'm sure they feel good, but I honestly don't get it. What's your point? You get attention of sorts? I guess maybe you get a connection with people who like the same stuff as you, and that would be pretty cool. But again, thinking totally self-centeredly, if that's even a word, I do hope for some eventual payoff for doing all this stuff online. Probably nothing, ever, but you never know. But you know, you can't possibly get anything particularly significant from just posting clips of other people's contents. You get a little bit of contact with people, a little bit of attention, but nothing lasting. I have a lot of trouble working out why people put so much effort into posting this stuff which is nothing to do with them. That's the bit I wish people would come to grips with. I often think people, I don't know, they're basking a bit in reflected glow because they post something that's nothing to do with them and they get a lot of views sometimes. They somehow think that's a credit to them. Not really. And seriously, the amount of effort a lot of people put into gathering these clips and editing them, I'm sure you people have enough talent and drive to create stuff that's completely original, and you really ought to give that a thought. One last thought on the copyright front. I'm lucky enough to have my own theme music, courtesy of the mighty fine NSG Music, and a lot of people have used music in their videos. Obviously, a lot of high-profile people have. That's a pretty dumb mistake because they've ended up getting takedown notices. When you use something copyrighted, you get a takedown notice. You got no defense, none whatsoever. The whole moral right and wrong thing, that's a different kettle of fish. I am rather against the copyright regime that holds sway these days. I really think it's counterproductive for the copyright holder to be persecuting fans. I think it's flat out dumb. But they do it. And legally they've got every right to, and legally you've got no defense whatsoever. So the idea of doing something that's mostly original, but then just using someone else's music in it, that's just crazy. Getting forced to take down something that you worked hard on because of a tiny clip of music or some background music, don't do it, people. Find a way around it. Make friends with a musician. There are a lot of really good musicians on YouTube. If you're like me and you're completely unmusical yourself, make friends with someone who is a musician and saying, hey, can I use a bit of your music and credit you and point people to you? Most independent musicians are going to be a-okay with that. But don't use copyright songs. It's more than a little bit lame, and it's opening a whole can of worms that could, you know, really give you grief in the future. It's not worth it. My last bit of housekeeping for today, Halloween. It's actually Halloween today in Australia. Certain parts of the world aren't yet Halloween, which gives me an extended period to think about Halloween. Yeah, what do you do for Halloween when you already dress up? Now, I've had more than a couple of suggestions. Hey, why don't you take your mask off? Ha ha ha! then my air of mystery would disappear. Quite honestly, I don't think it's that big a deal. A few people have said they want me to take off the mask. I just reckon you'd be disappointed. It's not that big a deal. But on the off chance people do think it's a big deal, then hell, I'm gonna save it up. Milk it for all it's worth. Maybe I'll take off the mask when I get 1,000 subscribers. It's only about another 650 to go. Yeah, so if you want me to take off the mask, go and convince 650 more people to subscribe to me, then I'll do it. But you never know, it's Halloween. Strange and mysterious things happen. Not real keen on taking off the mask at the moment, because that Mac video I did, I wasn't joking. That bloody spirit gum hurt. Virtually ripped off the top layer of skin on my cheeks, so the mask is actually serving a purpose at the moment of covering up the hideous wounds I sustained in the name of art. But hey, 24 hours left in Halloween. Anything could happen, folks.